What's up, all my sexy, beautiful, new 2024 viewers? The Cabbage Man 19 here, ready to talk about some Fallout 5. And yes, I know, this game is 20 years away. We will all be dead by the time that this game comes out. But I still want to talk about it and give myself some hope, for the new year. So this series was given to me by a YouTuber that I used to watch when I was just a wee little young lad by the name of Gitchy1230. I have mentioned this before. He did a series called GTA 5 Talk, where he'd talk about anything and everything, whether it was 2 minutes long or 20 minutes long. He would just talk about random things that he'd like to see in the game, or really wasn't even anything that he'd like to see in the game. It was just about the game's possibilities. Okay? And I used to watch this all the time, which is basically meaning I am copy and pasting his idea. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this plagiarism. So the first episode, I wanted to start off with setting, and I'm only bringing 3 locations to the table. I can't cover them all, I pick only 3, and there are some pretty popular ones. Some people might not agree, but I think they are the pretty popular ones. And yeah, like I said, it's all about the setting, location, the place of being, if you will. And I can cover more locations in the future, but right now I just want to start this series and get it off. Get it on the ground and rolling. I want to get the wheels on the vehicle, the wagon, whatever the fuck. I don't really care. Just want to start talking. So, with that said, the first city on the list we're going to get to here is New Orleans. I know this is a popular one, and I see it in the community a lot. I also believe there is a mod being developed for New Orleans, I believe. Fallout New Orleans. It sounds familiar. It's one of the obscure ones, I'm sure, in the long list of mods that are being developed for Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas, like Nuevo Mexico is one, Fallout London is one. But we're not here to talk about mods. We're here to talk about locations. So what I have here in my notes, I'm just going to state this, I'm not an expert. I know nothing about game development. I've never been to New Orleans, so I don't know. But I will say the thought of mutated gators ripping my asshole a new one is quite the devious thought of mine, and I enjoy it. I'm not sure if we had gators, whatever. Those are salamanders in the Fallout 4 Nuka World DLC, or no, Far Harbor DLC. There's got to be salamanders. I don't know the whole lore behind it, but my one worry about New Orleans. So this takes place in Louisiana, which is very swampy, and I believe Point Lookout from Fallout 3. I've never beat the DLC Point Lookout. That is a swampy one. If it's anything similar, though, I have seen a gameplay, and that looks really fun to play. I did play a little bit of it, but I've mainly watched a guy I watch. Juve YT is a YouTuber that I watch, and I watched some of his gameplay on Point Lookout. But because it's so swampy, I don't know whether they can do big factions. Factions is always a big point when we're talking about location. And I don't want to see any more garbage Minutemen or Railroad factions, because those are just awful, poor writing. Just awful, and it makes me lose hope. But let's not talk about losing hope. I also don't want any extremist Brotherhood Fallout 4 faction or the sorts, Nothing that has been overdone like the Brotherhood of Steel. And there's nothing that's been overdone like the Brotherhood of Steel. It's just I don't want to see them as big as they are in like every other fucking game. So, yeah, what else do I have here? I wrote a script down. I'm just practicing here. But, I did write down. I think New Vegas did a good balance of factions. You got the Boomers, the NCR, the Legion, the Cons, and what do they got? The Fiends. I'm missing a couple, probably somewhere in there. But yeah, I think they did, though they weren't all fleshed out very well. They only had so much time to do it. But I think they did a good balance. In fact, the Brotherhood of Steel, how could I forget? They did the Brotherhood of Steel really good in that game, I believe. So there is potential there to have a lot of factions, and not all of them need to play a major role in the main plot. So what else do I have here? I think that's what I have for the New Orleans. I think it's a cultural hotspot, is what they call it in real life. So I think Bethesda's environment storytelling could be really good in a place like New Orleans, on the street. A lot of like local buildings that they could create a lot of lore from. So that's a really good possibility. And like I said, this isn't going to be a comprehensive analysis. I'm just doing my best here to have a nice casual conversation. But let's move on to the second city, which I have, and that is Chicago. This might be the best one right in the middle of the video, but Fallout Chicago, I like this one. Oh boy, do I like this one. I'm from the Midwest, so I'm a bit biased when it comes to Midwest towns, and my favorite baseball team is the Chicago Cubs. So Chicago, it makes me think of the potential of an amazing Enclave story here. It just sweetens my motherfucking tea. I've also personally been to Chicago, and the downtown is a really fabulous place. It has a lot of interesting things like the museum. I shouldn't say a lot of interesting things. That makes me sound really fucking stupid. But I've been to the museum. They have a few skyscrapers, not a lot, but they have a lot of taller buildings. Ones that are a lot of stories that you can explore. Kind of like Fallout 3 when you're saving those Riley Rangers people. Even though that was a bit confusing, but I do think with all those buildings there is potential. And then, I think the factions, the environment, the story, the side content, DLC is just bustling for a Chicago game. It's just a perfect fit in my mind. I think it is the key place to have. And I so bad just want to see Wrigley Field as a fortified Enclave headquarters that I can side with and genocide everything, shooting them with baseball turrets from the stands. Gosh, that would be amazing. And imagine like Diamond City, but you don't have to go through loading screens. And we all know about Starfield and its loading screens, but you don't have to go through a loading screen to get into Wrigley. It would just be, it'd be sweet. And what else do I have here? Chicago is mentioned in New Vegas, I believe when you're doing when you find that robot Eevee companion. So, and I'm very open to an Enclave Brotherhood of Steel conflict in the game, but I don't want that to be so much of the game. Even though if they could make it good, I would be all for it being a major part of the game. But Enclave Brotherhood of Steel Chicago sounds good to me. I don't know. You'd probably have to leave your thoughts if you disagree or agree. I'm open to both. But like I said, other than what I've stated, Fallout and Wrigley Field. I'm already sold. And moving on to our last city here, New York City. Okay. Yes, I'm going to acknowledge right now, this city would probably be bombed the absolute shit out of. And you know what? I just don't care. I really don't. Because it would be cool. I mean, playing Grand Theft Auto 4. Come on, you got to think of GTA 4 map with Fallout, first person. Oh, man. Just getting myself hard thinking about it, The Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty. Never been to New York. I've never been to New York, but I've seen enough New York videos. Okay. Times Square, we all know how everybody feels about the underground metros of Fallout 3, but the metro system, so many buildings, like even Tom Clancy's The Division, I believe that took place in New York City. It was the first one. And I really like the map. I just think what Bethesda could do. More so I would love for Obsidian, but just these developers I want to make a New York game. I don't even know it. I think there's a mod for this one too. It's like Fallout Empire or something. I follow it on Twitter, but I can't remember the name of it. It's got Empire in it. I know that for a fact. But I do think Fallout New York could be a really good one. I don't think there's any mentions of it. Maybe one. It's like one of the capitals of America. You can't think of America without New York, and the fact that they haven't done a New York one is pretty crazy to me. But like I said, there's not much lore behind it, so it'd be a lot of like new lore creation. So there's endless amount of possibilities of what they could do with it. It kind of just makes me feel giddy thinking about new and interesting things they could make for the Fallout universe, and I really hope it's grounded in the Fallout universe. No fucking teleportation relay bullshit, but yet they can't grow their own fucking corn in a settlement. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, J-Rock in the hood? Anyways, as you can tell, I'm kind of running out of things to say, so I'm just going to end it there. This has been quite a long video. I thought this would be like a 3-minute video, but a heart-to-heart Fallout 5 talk. Episode 1, and those are my thoughts. And, you know, it's really just to open a discussion about the Fallout games. I don't see anything really. It's all like story scripts and long-form essay videos, and this is just more of a casual discussion. You know, no Reddit mod hating and banning or Twitter censorship. So it's just an open conversation about anything Fallout, and we're trying to like boil down the topics just a little bit. So that'll do it for me, the CabbageMan19 here, on his second day out of 365 of uploading with Fallout 5 Talk, Episode 1. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.